Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today. We have a pretty large group today, so it's fabulous. Thank you for joining. I see that there are a couple of people still logging in, but we'll get started. It's a little afternoon, so we'll get started. My name is Jennifer Bento-Pinion. I am here at MEFA for almost 6 years now as program manager for MEFA Pathway. And I just want to share that one of my favorite aspects of what I do on a day-to-day basis is to have the opportunity to work directly with you, families and educators, to help support your students with their secondary planning. So just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started in looking at our MEFA Pathway Middle School portal. I'm going to keep everyone on mute throughout the presentation, just to cut back on the feedback for the noise. And then at the end, what I'll do is throughout, you can, if you have any questions that pop up, just type them into the question box, and I'll take the questions at the end of the session. I'll leave my contact information on a slide so you can get in touch with me directly if you'd like to following. And I'll be logging into a test account that I will give you the credentials for as well at the end, so on that slide. And if you're logged in with the app, just slide or swipe to the right to get to the presentation rather than seeing just the webcam. And then you can swipe left to do the opposite. Okay, so this session is being recorded. So following today's presentation, I will send out a copy of the recording to all of you, so that if you miss anything or you want to share it, you can do so. Okay, so let's get started. So just to give you a little background on MEFA Pathway, MEFA Pathway is an extension of MEFA. For all the great resources that we offer, that MEFA offers. So MEFA Pathway is an interactive college and career planning tool that's set in a fun, engaging, and intuitive, we call it a one-stop shop. So it's available for students in grades 6 through 12 with age-appropriate activities per grade level. So students who create an account in grades 6, 7, or 8 see different activities than those students in grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. So the transition from the middle school portal to the high school portal is seamless. So, and I'll explain and show you as we go through the demonstration what activities are saved. So when a student gets to grade 9, if they've created an account in grade 6, 7, or 8, they do not have to create another account once they hit grade 9. So this resource, MEFA Pathway, is offered, there's no cost, it's absolutely free. We currently have approximately 75 schools across the Commonwealth that we consider our affiliate schools. So when your student goes to register an account, if they are under the age of 14 and they do not attend one of our affiliate schools, and I'll actually show you our list of affiliates. So before your student, there we go, before your student creates an account, you can see if they attend one of our affiliate schools. The reason why I say this is if they do not attend one of our affiliate schools and they are younger than 14, a parent, they will go through, they need a parent consent to access the site. So they will be prompted to go through that parent consent process, in which case the parent will receive an email and they just consent to the student being able to access the account, and then that completes the process. Okay, so let's go back to the main page here, just to show you. So we're on mefapathway.org. Okay, this is our main landing page. So as a student, as a first-time student or a returning student, the student comes into the site here, clicks, I'm a student. And then as a first-time user, they will click register here. So the registration process is very simple. I will not bring you through the 3 pages, but it's basic information On this first page, the student does select the city or town that the school is located in. So let's just use that as an example. Selected Acton, and then on the school drop-down list, you'll see all the schools that are within that city or town. So the student then selects the school that they go to, click submit, then they'll be brought to the second page where they create a username, they create a password. They do have to have a working email address in order to register an account. They create 2 security questions so that if or when they forget or need to reset their password, they can do so either by answering the security questions, or they can get a password reset through their email. So 2 different ways that they can reset their password. It seems to be a common thing is for students to forget their password. All right, so once they get through that registration process, the student will just then, when they access the site, plug in their credentials, their username and password. And again, this is my test account, which I will share at the end of the session. Although I do encourage all students to create an account and take advantage of all of these great activities that I'm going to show you. So this is what the student will see when they first log in. This is the student's dashboard. So I'll just scroll down here. It shows our student their last activity, their activity during the last 30 days. We have the messaging center here. They have access to a document library. And this is a grade 8 student. So these are activities that are available for our grade 8 student. So we have a link to the Discovery Zone. So these are 4 activities within the site. And then on the right-hand side here, we have links to their digital portfolio. And I'll show you all of these different pages, their goals and strategies, prep for MCAS. And then at the bottom of the page, this encourages student activity within the site. So earning badges, moves them along, it encourages them to do the different activities within the site. So I just clicked on one of those badges and it brings you out to this main page here, and you can see, the student can see, all right, just for example, if they want to earn their careers badge, it gives the criteria that they need to complete before that badge will highlight. Okay, so main dashboard here. So now I'll show you I'm just going to actually go through these, all through the tabs here, just to show you kind of the succession of how of what we suggest students to do. So the profile details, anything the student adds within the profile details will transition with them to high school. So what happens within these profile pages is the student is starting to add in all their sports, clubs, activities, employment, community service, anything that they have done such as that, both inside and outside of school. So this will start and then grow as the student grows. Now, if they add information in the middle school age group, they may want to, once they get to high school, they may want to edit that information. Maybe something that they did in 6th grade isn't, as important to them that now that they're in 11th grade, they can edit any information. But it's important that the student starts to think about how important it is to be involved in activities and sports and clubs, etc., both in and out of school. So let me just show you how this works. So I'm just going to click on activities here. It's very, very simple. As you can see, my test student here has been pretty busy. Once they add anything, it's on this main page. So they just click add new, and then they can select the type of activity. So there's a long list they can choose from, and if they do not find their activity, they can just click other and then type in what they'd like to here. They select the grades that they were involved, when you were involved. Now, this information is not necessarily required, so it just, it depends on if it's applicable to this particular activity. They can add a position held, they can add a description. It's really important that the student use proper grammar. If something needs to be capitalized, they capitalize it. Spelling is important. We do not have a spell check because however they type this information on this page is how it will appear on their resume draft. So they just click save after they've made an addition. And also important when they save anything within these pages that they wait until that main page appears. So they click save, and it does take, I would say, a good 6 to 8 seconds for it to save. So you just want to make sure that the student is saving that, because if they jump ahead too quick, it won't save. So again, they're going through, they're adding clubs and sports, any honors and awards. They can add skills. They can edit this here. They just click edit, and then they can select from these different options here and click save, and then employment. So once a student starts adding information into this profile details page, they then can start thinking about resume building. So this is a great way for students, a lot of good starting conversations about what a resume is, what a resume is used for. Is it for a job? Would it be for a college application? The student has the option to save as many drafts of a resume as they like. So they have different drafts for different purposes. They can add an objective here if they like. Let's just say book-loving student seeking, whoops, you have to spell it right, position as a library assistant. Okay, they can type that in. And then what they can do further is all of the information that comes from that profile that they added in, all that from the details page, is now included on this main page. So the student can then deselect what they do not want to appear on a certain draft. So maybe they don't want to add in, for whatever reason, they don't want to add any skills. So they can just deselect that. And then they would save, click save. Then they can I usually just put the date. They can save this as, let's see, date, and then they save it. And then once it's saved, they can retrieve it. And I'll show you what that looks like. So we have all of our saved resumes right here. We have 3. And we're going to click view. And the student can then see this particular draft. So as you can see, the name appears at the top, the address, that objective that we added, and then all of the information that we wanted to include. From here, the student can change the resume style if they want to modern. There's the modern version, and then they can download this as a PDF and or download as a Word doc. So obviously, if they're downloading as a Word doc, they can change. They can change the format. They can change the order, that sort of thing. All right, so that's how the student starts working through their profile details and how that ties into that resume builder. Okay, the digital portfolio, I'll show that to you next. This is a great page here because it acts as a repository of a lot of the things that the student's working on. It represents their journey, and it can grow and change as the student learns more about themselves. So activities from the profile appear. They can add interests. Once they start, and I'll show you favoriting careers, they can, that appears on this right side. They can add favorite subjects, link out to their resume, and then those skills that they had added in the profile details also appear here, honors and awards. So the digital portfolio is something that stays with the student as well through high school. And this will change as the student changes as well. But it's also important to note that there may be things that remain the same. So it's important for the student to revisit this page, at least a couple times a year to see what the trends and what the differences are. All right, moving on, goals and strategies. This may be one of my favorite pages within the site. I just think it's so important for students to start thinking about short and long-term goals, career goals, personal goals, academic goals, and thinking about how are they going to meet those goals. So the student within these goals and strategies page can add up to 3 of each of the different types of goals, career, personal, and academic goals, and they can add as many strategies as they like. So another page which will transition with the student to high school. So they select the type of goal, they can put a goal name or description, and we prompt them here because sometimes students are thinking, what am I even, what's a goal? What would a goal be? Does it mean, making the honor roll, or does it mean getting into college? So it's, it can be those short and or long-term goals, but we prompt them here just with some ideas. Expected completion date, and then they can add, like I said, as many strategies as they like to complete that goal. So when the student starts adding things within the goals and strategies page, they can then come back to this page intermittently and edit to, once they've completed a goal, they can come in and mark that accordingly. All right, so great conversations to start having with students, just as far as looking at those short and long-term goals. All right, so let's move on to the careers page here. So I just clicked on Discover Careers. Now within this middle school portal, we have activities that are different than that of the high school portal. So they're age appropriate to students in grades 6 through 8. And this is more for exploring and discovering. So, and they're starting to maybe look at post-secondary plans, and they're thinking about what they may want to do after they graduate from high school. So these games are, again, age appropriate, they're fun, they're intuitive, and they facilitate and encourage that exploration in a number of areas. So let's just look at, we'll go through the 4 here very quickly just to give you an idea of what these look like. So everyday things, this allows a student to explore careers based on subjects or activities that they enjoy. So just for example, my student likes art and food. So I just selected the 2, you just select 2 at a time. And now based on that selection, we can see, oh, you might want to look at becoming a baker or a camera operator. So the student can then click on whatever looks interesting to them, and they will get this small details page, just kind of general information, quick little summary of what this type of career does, and then the career category, required education level, median wage, and areas of knowledge that they may need to be averse to. So this is, it's important too, I think, for students to note, like if they're looking at, if this career category happens to pop up in a lot of what they're looking at, then that might be an area that they would like to pursue. So it's starting to just get them thinking. So that's, and they can reset this as many times as they like. So this is not a savable item. This is just, they can come back and say, all right, we're going to reset. Now I want to look at nature and computers and see what comes up, right? So you can see the different, so same process, they click on the career. Okay, so next we'll go and look at the Says Who. So Says Who, this exposes students to various careers by identifying on-the-job tasks as they're related to specific work environments. So let's play. So what would a legal assistant say? So it's kind of testing the student. What would a legal assistant say? I'm not a lawyer, but I assist them, and the outcome of a trial may depend on how well I do my job. Or does a legal assistant say, when people are found guilty of a crime and sentenced, they answer to me in their new home? Okay, so we're going to select that. All right, yes, I'm a legal assistant. Do you want to learn more about a legal assistant? You can click Learn More. It'll bring you to that details page. So if they get, so they go through, and I'm just going to do this really quickly, just so I can show you the end. So solar sales rep. So every time they reset, it will give them different careers. I'm just doing this totally random. All right, so we can see. So it shows the student, they got 4 or 5 correct for learning about these careers. They can learn more, bring them to the details page of each of these careers, or they can start saving careers to their list. So say they they read about the solar sales representative, they want to save that to their list, they just click save list, save to list, and then the student can start building out their careers list. So the careers list serves for the student to keep track of, let me just show you that real quick since I mentioned it, my career list. They can keep track of all the careers that they've looked at and may be of interest to them. So, and this saves through with the student through high school. So maybe this student has a list that's 31 careers long in grades, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. And then as the years go on, they start to narrow that list down to actually to maybe careers that they would like to pursue. So at this level, the middle school level, again, it's more about exploration and discovery. All right, so let's go back. There are 2 more activities that I'd like to show you here. Let's go to favorite subjects next. So just click on that. So favorite subjects, this shows the students the connection between subjects studied in school to potential career majors and career options. So I'm going to click a favorite subject here. I'm going to click social studies. So in selecting social studies, here are examples of high school courses related to that subject. And if we hover over, we get a nice description. And then we also have related careers. So the student can say, okay, anthropologist, this looks kind of cool. I'm going to click on that. Goes to the details page. The student can also save careers to their list from this details page. So again, they're going down, they're looking at all of these great options and learning more about these careers. And then last but not least, and they can reset this, of course, as well. So, if we want to go to science, we can just click science, and then, we'll see the same process. All right, so the last one here is the would you rather. So this is fun. This allows the students to answer a series of questions and help to discover their career categories of interest. So we're just going to click play here. And so the student reads, would they rather prepare legal documents, including briefs, pleadings, appeals, wills, contracts, and real estate closing statements, or would they prefer to operate on patients to correct deformities, repair injuries, prevent and treat diseases? So which would they rather? Maybe they'd rather go here. So they would then, they could learn more about a surgeon. They get to the next page. I'm just going to do this totally random so we get to the end. So I can show you what this looks like when we get to the end. Okay, so based on what the students selected throughout, they were looking at these career clusters or categories. So the highest would be law and public safety or health and human services. So they can then think about that particular path for them if they're, if this comes up, if these particular career categories continue to pop up, and then they can play again. So these aren't, these results aren't saved. But they can reset and play this again, and different choices will come up that they can select from. All right, so we went through let me just show you the one thing under this Discover Careers tab here, which is our main career search page. So this is where it really opens up to the student can, for example, if they have a career category that has popped up again and again, they can select that career category, and then a list of careers will generate based off of that. They can then add an additional filter. They say they are interested in going to school for 2 years, and they can click on that to narrow that list down further. Then they can click on, they'll scroll down this list. They'll say, oh, dental hygienist, that looks kind of interesting. I'm going to click on that. Now this expands a quite detailed page. So we have the general information at the top, as we've seen before. And then as we scroll down, we get into the real nitty-gritty of this particular career. Daily tasks, work activities, careers that are like this. And then as we scroll down further, education preparation that's required for this occupation, education experience, job training, and then knowledge required. So a lot of information on these details page. So the student can really get a feel for a particular career and how it may be a fit for them potentially. All right. And then last but not least, we have our Pay for College resources. So Pay for College has a financial literacy page. So this allows the student to start learning about financial literacy. It gives tips about how to understand how money works and how to manage it. So there's a lot of great information on this page, a lot of super conversations to have with your student. We have a compound interest calculator that brings you to an external website, how to protect your personal information, understanding credit and how credit cards work, really important. I wish, you know, these are conversations that, you know, maybe they're kind of difficult at times to have conversations such as these, but it's important for students to start to understand about being financially literate. Making a budget, you know, it's important as well. And we do have a sample budget here, so they can really start beginning to think about money management, structuring your budget, determining your income. So we have a sample monthly budget, and then we have you can download a copy, and then there's you can download a worksheet that the student can actually fill out. All right. So that was kind of the quick version of what we offer here in the middle school portal. If anyone has any questions at this time, please just jot them down in the question box, and I will answer any questions that come in. And what I'll do too while I'm looking for questions is I will leave my contact slide up so that you can jot down my contact information if you wanted to get in touch with me directly. If you are an educator and you are interested in becoming an affiliate school or learning more about MEFA Pathway, certainly feel free to reach out to me either by email or by phone directly. And then on the right-hand side here, we have, like I said earlier, my login credentials to the test account that you just saw. So the username and password is right here. You're welcome to go in and peruse the site on your own. But I do encourage you to have your students create an account and start taking advantage of all of the great features that we have to offer. All right, doesn't look like we have any questions. Okay, well, I hope everyone enjoyed this session today, and I thank you for joining. And again, certainly feel free to reach out with any questions or comments, and I will send along a copy of the recording of this session as well, probably within 24 hours or so. Okay, everyone have a great day.